Good morning, everyone, and welcome from a disappointingly cloudy London. I would like to welcome you all to my webinar entitled The Language Barrier. What do you mean? Inspiring Students. Today, I will be talking to you about the academic English provision at DLD College London. So before I do so, I would like to reintroduce myself. My name is Christalla Mavroudis, and I am a teacher of academic English and head of the academic English department at DLD College London. I have been teaching for over 30 years and I qualified as an IELTS examiner 9 years ago. Today, I would like to provide you with an overview of the academic English programme at DLD, outline the aims of the academic English department, and enable you to gain an insight into an academic English lesson. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the academic English programme. The academic English programme at DLD is unique in that it is an independent programme, one which runs parallel to all the other subjects studied by the students. Academic English lessons run alongside all the other lessons with a view to facilitating the learning of the students in all their other subjects, whether they are studying GCSEs, A-levels, BTEC or IFP. All international students arriving at DLD without an English language qualification, irrespective of their initial level of English, work towards the same goal, namely the IELTS exam. IELTS is an acronym for International English Language Testing System. As I'm sure you are all aware, this is the English language qualification required for entry to university, as well as for progression to different pathways within the college. So all the students are working towards the same goal. What are the aims of the academic English department? Well, in the academic English department, we aim to help students overcome the language barrier, to develop their communication skills, which in turn increases their confidence, and we aim to facilitate their learning in their other subjects. This is achieved through the development of the 4 language skills of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Our ultimate aim is to help students progress from this stage in their studies to this one. I'm not sure if you can see this one. This is a graduate. We ensure that the language journey is an enjoyable and memorable experience. How do we achieve this? Well, in many ways. For instance, one of the first tasks assigned to the students is the preparation and delivery of a 5 to 10 minute presentation on their country of origin. All students love talking about their own country, and all students enjoy learning about different cultures, customs, and traditions. Here we have Lara presenting to us her home country of Brazil, Katia from Russia, and Pascal from Switzerland. For us, the language journey involves both academic and personal development. We help students to step out of their comfort zone and broaden their horizons. This presentation task also introduces and embeds the college values of respect, tolerance, and kindness. Today, we are fortunate enough to have with us 2 students currently studying at DLD who will talk to you about their own language journey. We have Juan from Thailand. Hello, Juan. Juan, are you there?
Hello, everyone. I'm Juan.
Hello, Juan. I'm going to come to you towards the end of my session, if that's okay. So if you wouldn't mind being patient, I would very much appreciate that. Thank you, Juan. And Steve from Vietnam. Steve, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello, Steve. Good morning. How are you?
Morning, how are you? I'm good, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. As I said to Juan, if you wouldn't mind waiting patiently, and then I will come to both of you at the end of my session, if you don't mind. Is that okay, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, moving on. create a classroom environment which is conducive to learning. We create a classroom environment conducive to learning because we want the students to feel comfortable and confident. It is a well-known fact that we all perform at our best when we feel at ease. We encourage students to collaborate, to discuss, to inspire each other, to interact, and to share ideas. And this is all done through the medium of English. English is the medium of teaching and learning. We also foster a sense of community, which extends beyond the classroom. So everyone, are you ready for your lesson? Today, we are going to focus on planning and writing an essay. From this point on, I would like you all to participate, please. And you can do so by writing your answers in the chat section. I would like to begin by a general question. Now, could you please tell me why you think the students would need to know how to plan and write an essay, bearing in mind that they are all preparing for the IELTS exam? So I just need very brief answers, please, in the chat section, and John or Adam will convey your answers to me. So why would the students need to know how to plan and write an essay?
Okay, so we have one answer.
Yes.
Sorry, I can't read the name. Because in our future, it's a very important thing to find a job.
Okay, very good answer. Anyone else, bearing in mind they are all preparing for the IELTS exam?
Okay, we've got Kunradapa. They would plan, it would help to plan, like to plan your time for the test.
Okay, again, a very good answer. Any other suggestions?
We've got Victoria with it's part of the exam.
Excellent.
And I'm sorry, the one I couldn't say, that's from Tatiana. I'm sorry, Tatiana, I couldn't read your name there. And we have Limhan. It will help them make their speech or text better.
Okay, all very, very good answers. Basically, everyone, they are required to write an essay in the IELTS exam writing subtest. The IELTS exam consists of 4 modules. One of the modules is the writing, and the essay is the second of the 2 written tasks. So that's why students are required to know how to plan and write an essay. Obviously, all the other points made are very valid too. We need to know how to write essays for our future, for our careers when we're at university. I have another question for you. What do you know about IELTS writing exam task 2, everyone? If you could just note down some ideas in the chat section for Adam and John to convey to me. Task 2 of the IELTS writing subtest. What is required in the IELTS writing exam task 2?
Okay, so Tatiana has said it's a little bit hard.
It is indeed hard. I totally agree with you. What do the students need to do for task 2?
And we have Steve who said it discusses controversial issues in the society.
Wow, Steve. Amazing. I was thinking in terms.
Hello, Christalla.
I've been muted apparently.
I think you're fine now.
Thank you. I was thinking about the length of the essay, possibly, the amount of time they have to produce the essay. Steve, very well done. It is controversial, and we're going to come to that in a moment. Are there any more responses, Adam?
Tatiana is saying something a little bit similar to Steve. Every time there is a strange topic, which I think kind of fits with what you were saying.
Yes, it can be referred to as strange. I was thinking more along the lines of task 2 is an essay which should be of at least 250 words in length, written within a time limit of 40 minutes, using academic language. So task 2, the second of the 2 written tasks in the IELTS writing exam, is an essay. Therefore, the need to know how to plan and write an essay. It should consist of at least 250 words, written within 40 minutes using academic language. There are several stages involved in the essay planning and writing process. The first stage is understanding the topic. So going back to the point made by, I think, Tatiana, strange topics. Yes, some of them do sound strange indeed. Having inspiration, knowing what to write about, and also knowing how to structure the essay correctly. Now, I am going to present to you 5 topics. I'd like you to read through them, please, everyone, and tell me what you think links these 5 topics. What do they have in common? What connects them? Now, what I mean by that is I'd like you to think of an adjective, like one of the suggestions made was the topics are strange. Okay, that could be one of the adjectives. Strange is a describing word. But what do you think these 5 topics have in common? What kind of topics are they? Again, if you could write your answers in the chat section, and Adam or John could relay your responses to me. Adam?
I think people are just having a think about it, so no one's wrote. Yeah, has anyone got any ideas?
So what do these 5 topics have in common? Someone said they are strange, possibly. Anything else? Can you think of a word, an adjective, which connects, which links these topics? What kind of topics are they?
Okay, so Tatiana, both of them or all of them connect to the future.
Possibly. Okay, that's very interesting. Anything else? What kind of topics are they? The youth of today are a generation of couch potatoes. Technology is more a hindrance. Hindrance means problem than a help. Society needs the death penalty to control crime. Every student must take a gap year between school and university. And finally, parents are to blame for juvenile delinquency. Juvenile delinquency means young criminals, youth criminality. Do we have any more ideas?
You've got a few fantastic answers, and all of these answers are great. Laura has said they all connect to our society.
Excellent.
Then we have Sansa. They all ask of an opinion about the future.
Wonderful.
One has also said about society.
Well done.
Victoria again about problems in society. Jason has said they can be argumentative. I think they form an argument, which is great.
Yes, very good.
I'm sorry if I don't say your name right. Is it Lay? They are controversial.
Oh, that's fantastic. To be honest with you, everyone, I had 2 adjectives in mind, and controversial was one of them. So well done to you. Let's go on. These are some suggestions that had been made to me in previous lessons. Social issues. So yes, well done to those of you who said they connect to society. They are indeed social issues. They affect society. In the past, I have been told that they are interesting issues. They are also global issues. They affect every single country. These problems exist worldwide. Now, I personally had 2 adjectives in mind, both of which begin with the letter C. Now, one of these adjectives, I think, has been put forward. And I think, Adam, you told me someone wrote controversial. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, that's Lay.
Okay.
Right? Controversial.
Let's have a look. Indeed. Well done, whoever suggested this. Controversial. They are all controversial topics. A synonym for controversial. Contentious. They are all contentious topics. What do we mean by this? Now, someone I think touched upon this. These topics, these issues that I presented to you, they all cause much discussion, debate, disagreement, and even arguments. Okay, and the relevance. Why do you need to be aware of such issues? Because, and I think again, someone touched upon this, academic writing often involves presenting a balanced argument, opinions for and against an issue. And this is all connected to the IELTS writing task 2. IELTS writing task 2 is more often than not, I would say 99% of the time, a controversial issue. Let's take, for example, the first topic on the list. In a moment, but please be patient, in a moment, I'm going to ask you for your opinion. I'm going to ask you if you agree, which you are going to signify or you're going to denote with the letter A, or disagree. Now, as I said, not yet, because we have something else to do before we express our opinion. The youth of today are a generation of couch potatoes. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to put the letter A if you agree with the statement, or D if you disagree. However, before you express your opinion, you need to understand the topic. Now, when I have had this topic in class, my students understand the word couch, because I believe that it's this expression which may pose problems. The youth of today, young people of today, are a generation of, an age group of, okay, no problems here really, but couch potato. So, the first stage of the essay planning and writing process involves understanding the topic. We have couch. Students know the word couch, one of the first words they learned. They know potato. They combine the two words and they're confused. At this point, I need to inspire my students. I need to provide some kind of clarification. So I introduce an internationally known TV character. I'm sure everyone will recognize this gentleman, Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson is a fine example of a couch potato. At this point, I begin to see a flicker of understanding or recognition on my students' faces. However, if someone is still confused, I provide further clarification. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this. It's an image of a couch potato with a definition. A couch potato is a person who spends a lot of time watching television with little or no physical activity. So we have now understood the topic. I am now curious to hear your opinions. So in the chat section, please, can you write A if you agree with this statement, or D if you disagree? I will give you a minute to do that.
Okay, we're getting some great answers. So would you like me to tally them up for you?
Yes, please. That was my next question. How many agree and how many disagree?
Okay. So just give me a moment because they're still coming through.
Absolutely, no problem at all. Adam?
Looks like we're even at the moment.
Oh, that's fantastic. Better than anticipated.
Okay, so I'll just give you guys a few more seconds if anyone else has an answer. Okay, so we have equal, 4 for A, 4 for D.
Brilliant. That's exactly what I hoped for. Okay, and also what was anticipated. Yes, we have mixed responses, we have mixed opinions, because this is a controversial issue. As I explained previously, it is something which causes or which leads to much discussion, debate, disagreement, and even arguments. Now, if we were in the classroom now, I would split you into two groups. I would have one group consisting of students who agree, and the other group consisting of students who disagree. I would then provide each group with a large sheet of paper. Each group would be at a separate desk or cluster of desks, and then I would provide you with a time limit during which you would write down all the reasons why you agree and all the reasons why you disagree. Now, in the two groups, the students would need to communicate and work together. So we have teamwork. You would need to discuss and collaborate. And finally, at the end of this time-based task, you would need to negotiate, to nominate a spokesperson for each group. So once the time is up, all the ideas would be gathered, all the opinions, all the reasons would be gathered, and one person from each group would stand up and represent the group and share the opinions. Now, all these skills, communication, discussion, collaboration, negotiation, these are all useful, transferable skills too. Skills which you can take beyond the classroom, into the workplace, to university as well. Now, we've understood the topic, we have our inspiration, so we have the ideas to express. Can anyone remember the last stage of the essay planning and writing process? So we had understanding the topic, having inspiration or ideas to express, and what was the last stage? I'll give you a minute to think about that.
Okay, Lei has said academic LG.
I require clarification, please.
Lei, what do you mean by academic LG?
So there were three stages: understanding the topic, having inspiration, and then finally, what do we do with these ideas? Anything coming through?
Yeah, so we're getting a few answers ranging from structure the essay.
Excellent.
Yep, so structure the essay, summarize.
Okay.
Using academic English.
Fantastic.
Express the ideas. And wow, okay, there's a longer answer here. I disagree because it might. Okay, so they believe it's about, if you know, expressing your opinion, and you know, they really explain their understanding or living, spending time. So basically about expressing your opinions.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Adam. Someone actually provided the most accurate answer. The last stage of the process is structuring the essay. We've understood the topic, we have the ideas, now we need to present them. Now there is a structure to the essay. At this point, I would elicit from my students the fact that everything has a beginning, known in essay terms as the introduction. Everything has a middle, known in essay terms as the body or the development. And finally, everything has an end. And this applies to everything in life, everyone. And the end is known as the conclusion. I would then point out that these sections all correspond to paragraphs. The structure of your essay is crucial. I would then provide an illustration of the structure to enable the students to visualize what the essay should look like. So the first paragraph is the introduction. Now, if you notice, the second and the third are the development. We need two paragraphs in the middle because it's a controversial issue. And as previously explained, academic writing requires a balanced argument. So we need to present two opposing opinions. When I say two, I don't mean just two ideas. I mean, you agree, you disagree. And finally, we have the conclusion. The conclusion, the last part of your essay, is a summary of previously mentioned points and your own personal opinion. You do not introduce anything new in your conclusion. Okay, everyone, so now we have the structure. Now, due to time constraints and the fact that we have Juan and Steve patiently waiting to tell us about their language journey, what I have done is I have summarized for you the next stages of the essay planning and writing process. So if I just present these stages to you, I would then go on to tell my students that they need the introduction of their essay will be basically a paraphrase of the essay title. In other words, they do not copy the title presented to them. They express the same meaning, but using different words. For example, young people today are a generation of couch potatoes. Something like, it is believed that the youth of current day society are lazy, inactive, unambitious, and unmotivated. For example, I would advise my students, or rather, no, I would not advise them. I would tell my students not to copy the essay title because no marks are awarded for copying. Everyone can copy. I would then inform them that they need to use linking words known as connectives or conjunctions in order to have cohesion in their writing. Cohesion means having the ideas linked together smoothly. I would advise them to avoid basic words, basic connectives such as and, but, or so. These are not very academic. I would provide my students with a list of more academic connectives such as for and, moreover, furthermore, in addition, for but, nonetheless, nevertheless, however, on the other hand, and finally, for this tiny little word, I would provide them with therefore, consequently, thus, hence, as a result. I'm sure you can hear that these are much more advanced words. I would advise them to use vocabulary to make their written expression more academic and to emphasize the points they make. I compare this to cooking. I say that when you use these words, it's similar to adding spices or herbs to your food to improve the taste. So throwing in a word such as undeniably or unquestionably or undoubtedly or admittedly, all of which mean, of course, makes your writing sound more academic. So everyone, let's see how much you have learnt from my lesson. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about this sample lesson I have just presented to you. It was just a taste of a lesson. And can you write down, please, in the chat section again, for Adam to convey to me, what you can remember from the essay planning and writing process. Are we getting any ideas coming through, Adam?
Not just yet. I think people just we're getting a few, so people just writing. So Tatiana has said that the essay must be 250 words.
Excellent. At least.
At least 250 words, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think other people are just writing.
Sure.
Okay, it's 40 minutes long.
Well done.
And that we should, oh, great answer, that we should present two opinions, agree and disagree.
Fantastic.
Academic language.
Well done.
Yep, another person, I think you both wrote that at the same time, have to use academic language.
Well done. Excellent.
And there are three main structures in the essay: introduction, body/development, and the conclusion.
Well done. But how many paragraphs are there?
Okay, let's see. And sounds like great. Okay, you've all got on the you're all on the same page with that. That's great. Does anyone remember how many paragraphs? Okay, 4 paragraphs.
Excellent. And what kind of topic are you presented with in task 2? Let's see how effective my lesson was.
Do any of you remember what the type of topic is?
Begins with the letter C. Think of an adjective.
Okay, someone said couch potatoes. Great.
Okay, good. I've taught you the expression couch potato. That's fantastic.
And we have just to your last question, when writing, you have to follow the rules and share your own opinions. Controversial and contentious. We're getting these two words coming through from everyone. Well done.
Oh, that is fantastic. You have made my day. That has clearly been an effective lesson. So you have taken away from the lesson. I think someone mentioned the length of the essay. No one remembered, or maybe I didn't give you enough time to think about this. 40 minutes, academic language, well done. Controversial, excellent. Balanced argument, I think we had that implied. Structure, organization of ideas into paragraphs. And this is quite tricky. Just the use of connectives and conjunctions to link together your ideas. Before we move to Juan and Steve, I would just like to remind you all of the unique location of DLD College, situated in the heart of London, a unique location of a unique college creating unique learning opportunities. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time and attention. If you do have any questions, may I please ask you to wait until we hear from Juan and Steve about their language journey at DLD. And if we do run out of time in terms of my answering your questions, please feel free to email me on the address shown on the slide. And I'm sure Adam and John can remind you all of my email address. But thank you very, very much for your time and attention. And I think I will move first to Steve. Can we come to you first?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Steve, would you mind sharing with everyone here today your language journey, your experience at DLD? If you can recall how you felt when you first arrived, how you feel today, and if you can explain what has helped you reach the stage you're at today, if that's okay with you, Steve.
Yep. Okay. So the first time that I came to DLD, I was just a completely inexperienced and incompetent young person, because it was not only my first time living away from home, but it was also the first time that I was exposed to a English-speaking environment. I did not have much confidence to start a conversation with anyone in the college, but after 2 years being at DLD, I feel much more confident, since I was taught to communicate with people, to socialize with people, and to convey my academic ideas during my lessons via the academic English course I took during my first year there. And being fluent in verbal and written communication skills is such a great advantage. It allows me to take part in a wide range of co-curricular activities in the college. For example, the charity trips from the house parents, and also the math and the chess clubs from all the faculties. In these activities, I can make so many new friends and also learn so much new knowledge. And these are also the opportunity for me to perform well in exam and also perform well in competitions outside lessons. Well, about DLD, the initial impression I had about it was that it has such a diverse international community with students, as far as I'm concerned, coming from 63 different nations around the globe. Living here gradually helps me to get out of my comfort zone, and that I can make new, long-lasting friendships despite our cultural differences. Another,
Sorry, Steve, can I just ask you, academic English, the program, how did that help you? How did that support you?
Well, I personally, I'm really into the speaking sessions during the lessons I had in the IELTS course, because I'm not really good at speaking at first, but when I come to the lessons, I can, speak to my classmates, and also through the contents and the practice sessions that you offered, because I was having lesson with you, so I could make so much progress throughout the first year there.
And you did, Steve, you did. You were so shy when you first arrived, and around college now, it's amazing to see the transformation and the confidence. Do you think that has been a result of the development of your communication skills?
Yeah, but I don't think that I could do it myself, because I was so shy at first, but that I was helped by not only you, but many people around me, so that I could make progress over the time.
And what are your plans when you finish you're studying A-levels now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
And what are your plans following your A-levels?
Do you mean after the course?
Yes, what do you plan to do when you complete your A-levels?
I'm having the UCAS application, which is the university application, by the end of this year, and I'm intended to apply for a few universities in London, and I'm thinking of doing math afterwards.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Steve. I'm just aware of the time, and I think we're probably running out of time.
Yeah,
so is there anything you'd like to add, Steve, before we move to one?
I think it's okay.
Okay, thank you so much for your participation and your contribution, Steve. Thank you. Okay, over to you, Juan.
Hi, Christalla.
Hello, Juan. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Fantastic. So, tell us about your language journey. Tell us about your first day at DLD and how you felt and how you feel now, and what made you or what helped you get to the stage you're at now.
Okay, so the first time I arrived at DLD, I feel nervous, worried, and scared because it was my first time away from my home and out of my comfort zones. But the help of academic English teachers, my English developed, and I became more confident because I will be able to communicate better in English and feel completely more confident. And I've been selected to be a member of Student Council in new academic year.
Oh, fantastic. Of course, yes, congratulations on that. You're
Thank
going to be a member of the Student Council.
And Steve as well.
Steve as well, yes. Well done to both of you. What a transformation. That's fantastic, Juan. Well done. Very well done. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we move on to questions?
Not at all. I'm
Okay,
finished.
thank you very much, Juan. Yes, I remember your first day, actually. I remember it very clearly. You were very shy, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And now look at you, a member of the Student Council, representing all the other students. An amazing achievement. Well done, Juan.
Thank you, Crystal.
You're most welcome. Okay, Adam and John, over to you. Are there any questions?
Okay.
Hi there, Christalla. Oh, hi, Adam. Sorry for jumping in. Thanks very much for providing that amazing lesson, and thank you to the students as well for giving their experiences. If anyone does want to post any questions for Christalla or the students, please do now via the chat or via the Q&A. What I can see in the chat is a lot of people thanking you for the lesson. So obviously they enjoyed the experience. But if anyone does have any specific questions, please do post them now, and we'll put them to Christalla. Otherwise, we will be sending you a copy of the presentation and also the recording of the session. So when you receive that, please do feel free to post any questions back to us. Obviously, you have Christalla's email address, but you can also respond to that as well. Adam, can you see any questions from your side popping up?
Not at the moment. Just like you said, a lot of people really enjoying the lesson. No questions at the moment, though.
Excellent. Well, Christalla, I think you've delivered such a good lesson, such a participative lesson that no one has any questions because you've obviously here we go. We have one from Lee. Lee's just asked what percentage or how many of the students will get an IELTS 7.5 during their time?
Right, it all depends on their initial level. Percentage-wise, I would say about 20%. But you see, as I said, it all depends on their initial level. It depends on the level they arrive with. And then it depends on how motivated they are too, because our lessons are always of gold standard. But it's not just down to the lessons, it's down to the motivation of the students and also what university they are aiming to attend. So if they're looking at Oxbridge or one of the more prestigious universities where they are required to achieve at least a 7.5, they are more motivated. They will do the extension tasks that we provide. I would say approximately 20% of our students.
Okay, that's great. I mean, what kind of activities would you advise students to be doing outside of their academic English lessons? Obviously, you're providing them with a lot of the information and content that they need to move up those bands. But for those students really looking to achieve a high IELTS score, would you advise some activities outside of their lessons?
Well, it's just basically the consolidation of the skills that we teach, the listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Just absorb, exposure, watching documentaries to develop the vocabulary, following the news, the BBC News online, just practice, asking their teachers to provide extension work, more essays to write. It's the writing and the reading usually that poses problems. So more practice in the reading, more practice in the writing, developing the vocabulary, reading more, reading English novels, classic English novels. All of this will help them develop their vocabulary, their reading skills, and enable them to achieve a much higher score in their IELTS exam.
Thank you, Christalla. So it's really about immersing yourself in kind of the English culture and the English language. I think as well, taking part in clubs as well helps as well, like debate club. Many of our colleges offer opportunities like volunteering, where you're putting yourself out in the local community and speaking to local people. So that's a great way of improving your English as well. And many of our colleges have extracurricular clubs that are also focused on things like IELTS and improving your English, book clubs, for example. So I think there's quite a lot of opportunities for students, both in and outside of the colleges, to really improve their English and aim for those top level scores. And
that's what I meant by exposure. Just get out there, immerse yourself, absorb. So yes, I totally agree. Excuse me. The extracurricular activities, the co-curricular activities, debating clubs and so on, as Adam just said, absolutely, immersion into the language.
Brilliant. Thank you, Christalla. Well, I think we've answered that question. I can't see any more. So I think what we'll do is, obviously, a few people said they might email us back. So that's great. Please do. I think we'll basically sign off now. So I'll say goodbye, and I'll let Adam and Christalla say goodbye, and then we'll sign off for the day.
Okay,
goodbye,
thank
everyone.
you once again, everyone, for your time and attention. I hope this was useful. I hope I was able to provide you with an overview of the programme and outline the aims of the Academic English Department, and provide you with a taste of an academic English lesson. So thank you everyone for your time and attention today, and please feel free to contact me on the email address shown on the screen, and I'm sure Adam and John can provide you with my contact details too. Thank you everyone.